Welcome back to Guru Chronicles, Flowing with Soul Guru. I'm your host. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm excited about what's going on. I appreciate you guys chiming in to my channel. Please, if you are watching, please add comments, topics you may want to discuss, questions on relationships or anything like that. I'd love to coach you in that area, help you to be strengthened in those areas, okay? The last video I talked about some things in the last part that I was going to discuss with you guys was engaging in your relationship, particularly with guys, engaging with your lady, engaging with a woman. And so I'm going to start off with the guys and then lead into how it can be helpful on some ways ladies can not necessarily entice, but also lead a guy or give signals or cues for guys as well. So just want to start off with, first thing is, we already established knowing what you want, having a good idea of what you want, particularly for the ladies. A lot of times you guys predicate the relationship. You predicate how fast it goes, how slow it goes. Women are like the thermostat to the relationship. You guys really do that. And so you have that level of authority. You have that level of influence. That's the main thing you have. Men have the authority, and women have influence, and both supposed to work hand in hand. And so for guys, you want to make sure. To me, it's going to be difficult what I'm proposing. It's probably going to sound unrealistic, but it reduces a whole lot of emotional casualties, and that's mainly being a friend. If you are a friend from the beginning, normally, and you don't cross those barriers of intimacy and being sexual, and most of you can attest to this, think about your crazy relationships. Think about your past. Things didn't get crazy till you had sex. I'm just going to be honest. Because sex is meant for a covenant. Sex is meant, to be honest, for husband and wife. I know we do it freely in this country. I know a lot of you would disagree. I understand. I'm not knocking you on that. I'm just saying where I am in my life. I understand things at a different place, and I understand the purposes of things better than I did when I was in my 20s. That's all I'm saying. And so what I'm saying is, fellas, if you want to avoid the extra drama, if you're someone's friend, think about it. There's really nothing they can argue with you about if we're friends. But the moment you connect and you go there with a lady, that changes things. It changes everything. And it really should. The issue is, initially, you didn't establish the terms in which the relationship is going to go to the next level. So let me back up. Guys, knowing what you want and being clear with a young lady. Making sure you communicate that right now I'm focused on my goals, my career, building my career. I just need a companion, someone that I can court, go out with, share some things with, and maybe bounce some things off to get a female perspective. Unfortunately, most of us say that, and then we get entangled into a lot of times the female's desire to want to go further, or sometimes we start tripping and want to go further. And that wasn't your initial plan. So knowing what you want, sticking with your initial plan because you have goals to achieve, you have professional goals. And the reason why you want to maintain friendship and try to avoid intercourse and sex, because you don't want to wind up getting someone pregnant. We see the devastation of that right now. 75% of the homes, particularly with African Americans, are single family homes. Boys are coming up in and they don't have fathers. So you don't want to be a part of the cycle, okay? So everything starts from the beginning, all right? So this is going to take some fortitude. It's going to take some strength. It's going to probably take some prayer for you. It's going to probably take you calling a friend. But just try being a young lady's friend first before you go any further. Second thing, find out some common things about her. Okay, find out some common things. What's her favorite color? What's her favorite food? What's her favorite restaurant? What genre of music does she like? What is her family like? How many siblings does she have? These are basic, kind of like demographic questions that you want to get. Some foundational things, some common things, things that you can also potentially relate to with her. You may have the same color in mind. Like my favorite color is black. Okay, and so during that time, one time when I was courting, I met a young lady and her favorite color was black. So that was something you can build conversation on. You do that for a conversation piece so you can connect with that person. That builds the friendship. That fortifies your communication with that person. It helps build trust. And in all these steps in the beginning phases, try your best to be as honest as possible. If they ask you a rough question, try to answer honestly. Don't deviate, because women do not forget. They'll remember what you said. And they'll remember that conversation 3, 6, 9 months down, and they'll say, but you told me when we first met, you liked this, or you said that. So make sure you just stay honest so you don't have to backtrack on anything that you've said. The other thing is, as you're managing yourself within the relationship, learn to listen. Guys, we're problem solvers. We were created to problem solve. We were created to resolve. So a lot of times when we hear a woman's issue, we like to give the answer to their problem. What I've learned is sometimes women don't want the answer to the problem. They just want to process the problem. I know that sounds funny, may seem like an oxymoron, because for guys it's like, well, if we're talking, let's go ahead and talk about a way where you don't have to experience this or deal with this again. For ladies, it's like, I just want to get this off my chest. I'm not asking you for no answers. So you want to remember, they need an ear. They need someone to help them process. The feedback they prefer to hear is, oh, I'm sorry you experienced that. Man, I bet that was upsetting. Oh my goodness, I can't believe they did that to you. How did you respond? And so you want to stay present with her. That's how you stay present. Another strategy to stay present is to mirror converse or echo converse with her. I kind of made up that term. But basically, if she says, man, you know, I had a pretty rough day. It was kind of challenging today. And you say, oh, babe, you had a challenging day? Tell me what happened. You repeat what she says to show her that you're listening. And then you extend that by asking a question about what you've heard. And that shows her that you're engaged, that you're present, that your body's not just there, but you're also there with your mind. You're there with your person and your being. And you're in that moment with her. Women appreciate that. They love that. And if anything, that's what draws them closer to us as men. It almost drives them crazy. They love feeling that and knowing that you're mindful of them and that you're thinking of them, especially if they're not present. Those things go a long way with them. And so just those things right there, I think, are a good start. You know, practice being honest, practice listening. Practice, guys, not giving an answer all the time. Sometimes you will, it's in your nature. I've learned to apologize to my wife, and then sometimes I'll preference and I'll say, babe, you want me to just hear you, or are you looking for some resolve with me, or something you want me to share? And she said, well, I just need you to hear me out. Then I know what I need to do. Over communicating is so necessary in any relationship. You should never assume someone understands what you're thinking, especially if you have not expressed it and it's in your head. In other words, it's a thought of yours. And if you have not expressed it, even though the person is close to you and you may be tight, that doesn't mean that she knows what you're thinking or he knows what you're thinking. Ladies, sometimes guide us into what you need. You know, especially if you're very emotional, say, look, I know you don't like when I'm upset, but I need to get something off my chest and I need you to just hear me. So sometimes go ahead and take ownership of the conversation because you're expressing a need. You're expressing a need at that time. That's very helpful for us. Excuse me, if there's anything we missed, just let us know. I think that's very helpful. Another thing that's helpful is it's tough, ladies, but sometimes if he's there for you and he listens and he processes it with you, and it may take some time, really try to work hard to get through that moment. There's nothing worse than a man trying to be there for you, and it's very tough already for him to see you like that and he feels like he has no control. But then if you're stuck in that mode, I'm not talking about if you have a loss in the family or there's a death or something very traumatic happen, but I'm talking about on your day-to-day experiences, something really upset you. And sometimes things can upset us more than others, but sometimes we can stay in that moment longer than what we need to as well. And that can dampen the moment sometimes. So try to be mindful of the environment and his effort in trying to do so. And guys, make sure you're mindful of her trying to communicate and not transfer that negative energy on you as well. And the same thing applies for us. We may need her to listen because our women are our cheerleaders. Remember what I said about the last video. Women are designed to build you up. They're designed to constantly keep going, to constantly build us up and cheer for us and exhort us. And so when you're doing that, you have to make sure that as you receive that, they're going to want to do that when we're having a low moment. And we may not feel like that. We may not even want that. We may not want that particular experience or anything. So communicate, babe, right now I really just need you to hear me. I need you to really hear what I'm going through and, just what I'm feeling right now, because I really feel bad. This happened to me today, boom, 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 boom. So communication on both ends, it goes a long way. I think these things can be very helpful. Learning how to engage each other, to be present in the moment with each other. Remember, mirror listening, mirror talking, repeating back what you heard the person say, and then extending that, letting them know that you're there with them, you're in the moment with them, in totality, that your mind is not on the game, your mind is not on work, but it is going through making sure you're there with that person and that they see that. Okay, and if you missed the mark, apologize. Babe, I'm sorry. I'm trying to focus. Can you repeat that? Oh, hon, I'm sorry. My mind is traveling. I need to really focus. Let's go sit down. Sometimes you may have to reposition yourselves at another part of the house or the home, or you may have to go out for a walk, get some fresh air and help process it. Or you may have to just stand outside for a moment. So whatever is good for you, communicate that to each other. Communicate. Mirror talk to one another. Repeat back what the person says. Be present, be engaged, and let the person know that you're there for them. Okay? So, in relationships, we get tested and we always have trials. And that's the whole point of coming together and working out these differences. Because as long as you live, you will go through. But if you like what I said and you really like this video, I need you to share this and like this and put a comment down and make sure you stay tuned and make sure you have to follow up with your soul guru. I'm out.